Marketing leader and best-selling author Robert Glazer, also the founder and CEO of Acceleration Partners, a performance marketing agency, is here as a guest in this MarTech series chat. He's here to share a few thoughts and insights on today's changing MarTech and marketing landscape. And obviously, we have some very interesting, relevant inputs to grab from Robert in this chat because he runs a very successful newsletter as well. More on that in the next couple of minutes. But before we dive in, Robert, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What inspired Acceleration Partners?
Acceleration Partners got started around kind of seeing the opportunity in affiliate programs and that channel and being able to run them in a different way. So I think, like a lot of businesses, it got started as a small business and kept getting asked to do more and became a bit bigger business. So today we're a global 200-person agency that really focuses exclusively on affiliate and partner marketing programs.
Absolutely. That sounds very, very interesting. We'll dive more into the journey and, the highlights of that journey a little later. But before we do that, can you tell us what you feel about the future of performance marketing agencies? So let's be frank here. There are a lot of performance marketers and marketing agencies out there today. And vis-a-vis the MarTech landscape, which is very dynamic, it's ever expanding. There's a lot of collaboration happening today. How do you feel this connect is going to change in the near future? What are some of the in-demand services you feel marketers will need from these performance marketing agencies as on the side MarTech also evolves?
Yeah, so I think it's important to draw a distinction between performance marketing agencies, which is a huge umbrella. And I think typically, it has a huge focus on paid search and organic search and social. And there's a newer landscape of sort of partner marketing agencies who are really specialists in the thing around affiliate and partner. So, performance marketing continues to grow. It's certainly, a really important part of the portfolio. I think partner marketing is actually the fastest growing segment. If you think about, I think we're seeing kind of the revolution of, you had sales automation and Salesforce, you had marketing automation and these marketing software. And now this is really leading itself into kind of partner automation, which touches the whole business development spectrum. So we think this is a pretty new industry. It's super fractured. We are the largest, which is a big fish in a small pond. But we think this industry is really still getting started as an industry, and it will be one of the bigger areas of growth over the next 5 years.
Absolutely. And what do you feel are some of the changing? So I'm sure you've been following the changing MarTech landscape. And again, over the last year, not only has there been change in demand of certain technologies because of the ongoing pandemic, because of changes to marketing dynamics, marketing processes, but there's been a shift when it comes to any customer facing model today, any marketing plan, any sales strategy, everything has had to sort of revolve around having a remote team, knowing that your customers are all online. So what are some of the top predictions or trends that you have in mind for the rest of 2021 and the near future? Because we really don't know when we're going to go back to pre-COVID days.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are going to see sort of a roaring 20s renaissance of consumer behavior when that shifts back. But there's been 5 years of advancement in digital. So, it may be that you want to go outside and want to the grocery store, but let's say a 60-year-old never bought their groceries online before COVID. That's going to be part of their mainstay now. So, well, some things will have a retrade. I think there's some trends, secular trends that have just been accelerated 3 to 5 years, and those are going to stay. It's more direct to consumer, more digital. And look, what we saw during COVID was people want to pay for outcomes. I think there was a lot of question around paying for inputs and things that you can't measure versus saying, hey, if we can measure outcomes, we'll pay for outcomes all day long, in a boom, in a bust, and an otherwise. So that's why we continue to be bullish on the model and see, I think people know the term affiliate marketing, but it has really kind of morphed into the much bigger partner marketing industry.
Absolutely. How do you feel? So, this is again taking a cue from your very successful newsletter, Friday Forward, which is not only about marketing. It has a lot of learnings to share. And I think this can be, a big learning for marketing teams as well, because, we are sort of struggling in a very crowded place today. Everyone is jostling for the same people's attention, and everyone is online, everyone's gone digital. So the best way to stand out is to have a very different content marketing model, to present something else that people may not be party to, may not be receiving from everyone else. So, before we dive into the success story behind Friday Forward, how do you think content marketers today should, be looking at things differently?
Yeah, look, I think technology's gone a little too far in marketing, and you're seeing sort of revenge of the robots of programmatic, where people had, you had CMOs having ads that they didn't know what they were, put on websites they didn't know what they were, and so that's why I think you're seeing a need for, clearly is going to be growth of technology in marketing, but before relationships and for authenticity and for people to be able to vouch for what kind of advertisement is running where, and the quality, and not just say, hey, I don't, it's the machine. I don't know. I think there's a huge backlash against that. So I think the people equation and the relationship equation is coming back into marketing more. People want to be able to say, I know what my marketing is. I know where it's running. I'm comfortable where it's running. I'm comfortable with the messaging. And I think today's consumers, demand some accountability around advertising and marketing.
Absolutely. So now let's dive into Friday Forward. Tell us how did that whole journey begin? How has this reader base expanded? And what really inspires you to come out with these themes on a weekly basis?
Yeah, I mean, it started just as a note to my team of 40 people that were remote at the time about things that we could do to get better, stories that I found inspirational. It was really about kind of our belief in building capacity in people at work and holistically overall. And people started to share it outside the company. And when I realized that they were sharing it outside the company a lot, I sort of opened it up and threw a couple people on it. And there were some articles written, and I woke up a couple years later and there's 200,000 people in 60 countries kind of reading this. I mean, my big lesson was there was never a goal. Like, the goal is just to add value. There was never anything being sold. There was never any ulterior motive. As you said, it has nothing. It's not about marketing at all. Actually, it has nothing to do with our business. But in a world where people, particularly services firms, are making decisions based on people, it allowed to share sort of our ethos and philosophy and beliefs on things, and it certainly led to clients and employees and book opportunities and things that I never would have imagined. But really, like, had I done it for the wrong reasons, it would not have spread as much as it was something that just added value to people's lives on a Friday morning.
Absolutely. I think so. On that note, we'd also like to dive a little bit deeper into this, into the first question, the story of Acceleration Partners.
Yeah.
Could you share some of your key learnings and how the last couple of years have been? When did the agency really start off, and what were some biggest failing moments? What did you learn from them, and where does everything stand now in terms of the business, in terms of future growth, upcoming plans, all of that?
Yeah. So it's been I think, like most journeys, it happened in phases. So first I started doing some stuff. I got too busy doing it. I hired other people to do it, and we started growing a lot. I think we became really known for managing affiliate programs. And then, early in our life cycle, we decided to diversify, because that's what everyone does. I think we were still probably 4 or 5 million, and those new channels did well, but they actually took our eye off the ball of the core channel. We just weren't sure that the core channel could be enough. And we felt we were really world-class at managing affiliate partner programs, and scalable. And we were winning pretty big enterprise brands. I think in the other areas we were good, but we didn't have the same scale, and we weren't sort of winning those brands at the same level. We just didn't have the chops. We actually made the decision to just focus. We felt like the blue ocean was affiliate and partner, and within 6 months of deciding to phase out the other channels, the growth of our core doubled. And so it's my biggest learning to anyone kind of growing a business, and particularly an agency. Like, you need to get to like 10 million in revenue, doing one thing really, really well. Then you can think about expanding into others. I think people expand too early. I see websites where the services are listed on the site are more than the number of people that work there. And like, a practice area is when you have multiple people with the same competency. If you have more competencies than people, then you're really not an expert in anything. So yeah, I think that was a key inflection point for us, deciding to go global when there really wasn't a market for that. But we saw the shift. We saw these software platforms going global, and we thought that was going to be a really important market. So we invested in that, made a bet, and that paid off. And then we partnered at the end of last year with a firm called Mountain Gate Capital to really accelerate our growth. They They see a lot of interest in the industry, a lot of fracturedness, the ability to kind of roll up and bring companies together and expand our offering. So we're really excited to have a great strategic and capital partner to continue our growth.
Absolutely. I think on the whole, this was a very, very interesting conversation. But before we wrap up for the day, do you have any last minute thoughts to share with us? So we have the rest of the year to go through. Not everyone has got their
Yeah.
vaccine. I'm sure everyone's waiting for it. So what are some thoughts you have as we continue with our entire remote work processes? Any last minute marketing tips you'd like to share, or MarTech tools you'd like to suggest everyone in marketing uses before we sign
Yeah,
off?
I mean, my book that just came out, How to Thrive in the Virtual Workplace. What I would say is, I think all organizations and teams have to decide pretty soon what their post-COVID work model looks like. Are they bringing people back in? Are they ditching the offices, or are they attempting some run at hybrid? And I think organizations, you have to put a stake in the ground on that soon, because people are going to want to know the strategy. So I think that's A. And then two is, I always think you have to kind of keep in mind where we are today, and then be looking 3 to 4 months, in the future, and make your decisions based on both of that. If you act like it's 3 to 4 months in the future, you're going to make bad decisions today. But clearly, we're seeing some trends. I think the markets where the vaccine is accelerating, we should expect things to come back, like leisure and entertainment, really quickly, and we should start planning around that.
Absolutely. I think, thank you so much for your time here today, Robert. And we'll definitely have you back again soon. It's something we always do. But we hope you have a great day. All the best to you and the rest of the team at Acceleration Partners. And enjoy your marketing days in 2021.
Thanks so much.